Now, in a game like Warframe, it takes a lot for someone to call a frame their main frame. Around 50 Warframes to choose from, how do you call just one your main frame? Well, meet Wisp Prime. Matt Buck here, and today we're going to take a look at Wisp Prime. So, why Wisp Prime? Why is Wisp the one frame that I would call my main frame? The answer is simple. She does it all. Movement speed? Check. Rate of fire increase, which means more DPS? Check. Max health increase? Check. Ability to heal? Check. Moments of invulnerability? Check. But wait, Wisp also has forms of crowd control and one of them nukes? Check. So yeah, Wisp really does have it all, and I'm going to show you how to build her. Wisp's first ability is called Reservoirs, where Wisp can drop one of 3 different motes on the ground that do 3 different things. The first mote is the Vitality mote, which grants you and allies increased max health and healing per second. The second mote is the Haste mote, which increases your overall movement speed and weapons rate of fire. The last mote is the Shock mote, which does exactly what it says. It has a 100% chance to shock enemies that come within range of it. Now, when you pass through any of Wisp motes, it will hover on the outside of your frame, giving whichever buff that mote provides for a set duration. When the buff wears off, the motes will disappear, and you can pass back through them to reobtain the buff. The strength of the buff you and your teammates receive from Reservoirs is directly tied to Wisp's ability strength. Your second ability, a lot easier to explain, is your survivability. Since the ability to heal isn't enough, apparently, you can also activate Will-O-Wisp and become invulnerable for a few seconds, essentially acting like the mod Rolling Guard. Breach Surge is the third ability and an amazing crowd control and nuke tool. Pop Breach Surge, enemies become blinded, and massive radiation damage will begin to chain between them. You can also Breach Surge a reservoir to double the range of the surge and teleport to the reservoir's location. And we are subsuming over Wisp's fourth ability and using Nourish in its place. We all know what Nourish does: grants viral damage, spreads viral damage, and energy orbs provide more energy on pickup. Now, why am I using Nourish? Well, that brings us to our mod setup for Wisp. Aura slot. Combat Discipline. You lose 10 health on kill, and teammates gain 20 health on kill. The important part being you losing health on kill. Now, why would we want to lose health on kill? Well, Nourish. We are self-proccing Nourish's viral retaliation, meaning you get a kill, you damage yourself, and you begin to ooze viral damage all over anything around you. But I'll lose health. I'll be so squishy. No, you won't. The healing you get from Vitality Mote will outweigh the health you lose from Combat Discipline. For the rest of the mods, we're going to be stacking a lot of ability strength. So I have on Power Drift, Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, and Augur Secrets. Archon Intensify, which grants 30% ability strength, but also grants an additional 30% ability strength when you restore health with abilities, aka your Vitality Mote. We are also using Archon Stretch for abilities that deal electricity damage, restore energy over time, aka your Shock Mote. Continuity, so you're not at a negative duration. Adaptation to solidify just how tanky you are, and Fused Reservoir. Now, I guess Fused Reservoir is really a convenience mod and not needed, but it is nice throwing down all 3 motes in one animation. Just make sure you do not use your Shock Mote in activities where you want enemies to come to you, like Netrocells. Trust me, you will annoy your whole team. For the main Arcane mod, I am using Molt Augmented, which grants 0.24% ability strength on kill and stacks up to 250 times. Your other Arcane is really up to you. I'm using Arcane Fury because I use a glaive way too much, and you don't really need Arcane Energize since you're running Nourish. You could also run Molt Efficiency as your other Arcane mod to increase the duration of Nourish and the blind that Breach Surge causes. I am running Zeneric for the school for more energy management. For Archon Shards, we are stacking red shards with ability strength across the board. Now, you could do 4 red and 1 yellow for casting speed, but it's really preference. Which brings us to weapons. Now, because of Wisp Rate of Fire mode and Nourish, a lot of weapons shred way more than they should in your hands. But there are 3 weapons I prefer with Wisp. Torrid with the Incarnate, Wisp Prime, and Nadaruk. For time purposes, I'll just toss how I have Torrid modded on the screen because it's Torrid and that thing is insane. And for melee, I'm running a glaive because to me, it just makes most sense with Wisp. You can hang out in your moat circle, never having to care, and just launch a glaive around the map. For the glaive specifically, I'm running Orvius. And I'll toss those mods up really quick as well. I have a Riven for it. The Riven is crit chance, status chance, and melee damage with negative range. So, you want a frame that can zoom around, tank damage, self-heal you and your allies while having an insane rate of fire and 3 different forms of crowd control? I would consider checking out Wisp. See you next time.